What's good, everybody? You rocking with your boy TheCzarr, all rights reserved. Now, I delivered the first piece today, and it had to do with the mausoleum. Now we're going to get more intricate, and this is a commenter video. Shout out to Nicola Stone. I appreciate all of your good tidings and, the watch out and I seen why. Let me explain why some of these individuals were targeted as they said what they said. And again, you already know no F's given about anybody's opinion on anything. These are the TheCzarr headphones. And soon, when I link up with a good sponsor and different things, I plan to create a better set of headphones and deliver them to people. It's a guy across the street yelling. I get what y'all saying about the auditory thing, and I rock with it because it's different. It's just a different type of thing I do. But some people just be out here just showing off. That's not how you talk to a woman. You don't yell from across the street. That's not how you get game going. And he got a fedora in his hand. That ain't even matching nothing he got on. Come on, bro. Come on, I know you old. Come on, old timer. Come on, don't do that, man. Oh man, but my fault, Nicola. Let's get into it. I don't know what he's thinking, rocking that, my friend. I get that. Nah, you didn't handle business. He did the walk like he handled business though. I give him that. He had courage with that walk. But here's my thing, Nicola. People, I get what y'all saying, but come on, what do you want? What is the little girl? Mommy got her little girl yelling at the window at me. Come on, I didn't know what she said. Man, they drawing. All right, Nicola, let's get real. Let's get serious. We keep cameras rolling. You know how I rock. Now, part of what I'm trying to say is that the reason these investigators, these people that were doing investigations like I am doing it, the reason they may have been targeted is for this reason. They're not objective. See, there's no objectivity in anything they're discussing. Nothing. Everything's like, oh, this happened, they did that, they had to do it. When you start accusing people of things and not examining the evidence, you place people into a refined square so that you don't have any more growth to derive off of what's going on. We're literally interpreting evidence. We're looking at evidence objectively. Have I been up here targeting the suspects like, oh, that suspect did this, he did that, he had to do this, his past was that? No, I'm looking at evidence out of those. Even when they react, I'm like, why are they reacting that way if they're really guilty? You see, there's a certain method to the madness, and this again goes back to stuff I told you, not only from the people I learned and I aspired to as mentors, but people that I had a chance to see different elements and how they examined different things. I'm telling you, it's objectivity. I was objective to the whole fact of people even saying this stuff about his mother and stuff. You can't, like, this woman just lost a son. You guys just have no remorse, no respect. That's the type of things that I stand out in. That's why I differentiate myself. That's why I do things the way I do. You know what I mean? So I also wanted to give knowledge and insight into the fact of how you sat there and explained, like, look, every time I come up with a theory, I see what you do and it changes what I think. Yes, that's why I'm here. I want you to think critically, because the answer is not going to be something you come up with in your sleep, not going to be something that makes you pop up and go, it's going to be when all the puzzle pieces fit together. And that's part of, now I have theories too, I have thoughts too. I'm not saying, they were completely wrong, but when you go out there and you target one specific situation, and that is why there's so many episodes, because I respect not only the investigators, and sadly, the suspects are human, so I have to respect their opinion on what they're actually being accused of. I can't say, you did that, you did this. I'm looking at what they're doing throughout the entire case. Other people aren't doing that. Everybody that came out is like, that person's a terrible person. How do you know someone didn't just lose a son, a father, a brother? That's what I'm saying. That's why we look at it objectively. Yes, these suspects may have been there, allegedly, okay? Now, who else was there? Other people who aren't facing the music like these guys. Think. Listen, I've been making calls behind the scenes to these places. These suspects are speaking more than Riva Motorsports. How is that possible? How is that possible? A business establishment that claimed to be family with the deceased, and they're the silentest. They're speaking the less out of everyone. Think about that. Think about how that fits into the perspective of what we're looking at. Who looks more suspicious? Who? That's what I'm trying to get you to think about. Think about the things that we see. Think about when you're taking evidence in. It's good to have theories. That's why I do it. It's good to have critical thinking errors. That's why I do it how I do. When these guys come out and they ask their questions, then they're like, why wasn't such and such this? Think of his childhood. No, we discuss his childhood. We discuss factors of his music. We discuss his lifestyle, situations that may have been. And we got another one. That's going to be another commenter video for tomorrow at some point in time. But when I'm discussing these things, understand that it's all objective. It's all to get critical thinking going. I'm not telling you, oh, I know he did that. I know he did that. Oh, look at his past. He's a felon. Oh, look at him. He did this. Oh, why was he doing this? Why did he act like that? Yes, we discuss it. But it is not how I get to a point where I'm targeting people. Now, this old dude driving by just mean mugged me. He must not like the word disgust. I didn't say I'm disgusted by you, sir. Sheesh. He hung out the old timer, hung out the window, mean mugging. What's wrong with him? You see, people are so strung up tight. When these other people that speak, they're strung up tight. They're not open-minded to understanding different things. Understanding it. Understand. Get it. Yes, I get what you guys are saying. Yes, I know you get what I'm saying from reading the comments. But commenters, think. Think strategically. Think in terms of what's been delivered, who could have been involved. Think. We're not playing a game of, oh, he did it. Oh, his mausoleum was built, so his mother had to know. No. Listen, there's many different factors that come into when you have money involved. Anybody can do anything to get some of these things built. Now, that has nothing to do with illegal activity, but who could have paid for it? Didn't have to be her. Who could have initiated to have it built? Didn't have to be Tentacion or her. Someone could have had a mausoleum built, and then when the time was right, came up to them like, hey, I already had this built, but because this happened to your son, you could take it. It could be many different situations. Do you see how easy that was? Come on. The only thing we were discussing was it takes 4 to 6 months on average, according to that person. Shout to Sadiddy B, Margaret PD, and the commenters nation that were involved. It takes 4 to 6 months according to Siri and Google. So the question was, how was this built? That is to get you to see every bit of evidence. This is literally what skilled investigators do. They look at every bit of the evidence. They don't take the fact that, oh, he was a felon and he's black. Cuff him. Is that the norm? Is that the norm? No, I shouldn't say is that the norm, because we know what happens. Is that right? Is that a right thing to do? Is that right to definitively say because they put their pictures up, because they were on TV, they're the bad guys? They could be investigating them, yes. Don't get me wrong. 2 of them went on a manhunt. They had a manhunt sent after them. But that doesn't mean that they're guilty. Listen, people fight or flight. Have you heard of fight or flight? That's exactly what happens. And I'm not directing this at you, Nicola Stone. I'm literally discussing different factors of the difference between me, what I do, and what these other guys do. There's no comparison. There's no comparison. Not in knowledge, not in how they deliver it, not in skill. Because I've seen a lot of people have way more views than me on what they delivered. But the way they delivered it was wrong. You were wrong for that. Just because you saw certain situations and evidence unroll a certain way does not mean it leads to a definitive point. Do you know that there's individuals that can structure evidence and structure media, what they release, how they say it, to get you to think one single way in a singularity, so you lose your self-preservation of understanding things the way you think? Do you get that? That's what this whole channel fights against. That's what my whole stance is against. That's who I am. That's what we fight against. It's a system of thinking that something has to be this way because it looks that way. That, oh, he has to be some type of hardened criminal because he's black. Oh, he has to be some type of racist because he voted Republican. He has to be a bigot because he voted Republican. I know some Republicans that are the most unprejudiced people you'll ever meet. And I know some African Americans that are some of the most racist you'll ever meet. But at the end of the day, how you deliver what you understand is how you are taken. Your perspective is what defines the picture. Imagine if an artist sat there and said, oh, I gotta paint like him, or oh, I gotta paint like him. No, they take the influences, they take the device of understanding, and they turn it into their own big time picture, their own bigger perspective. It's not just taking what someone else did and using it for their own. That's plagiarism. Yes, you're going to see factors of that person maybe in their painting, certain skill sets, certain abilities that are utilized, and respected by that person. But when they take it, they put their own understanding to it and run with it. That is what creates respect to the greats and mentors, as I've given to people like Star Terrain, as I've given to people that do it objective, that we seen like the real Dana. That's what it's about. And yes, they may have their own perspective on direct views, but I stay away from that as much as possible because I want you to be big thinkers. I want you to be critical thinkers. And I take your professionalism serious. I don't play with it. So that's the reason. And that's the difference between me and them. I got another one up here if I can get this phone to work for me. You know how I rock. All rights reserved.